Real Genetic Demon, and this is What's on the Tape, Season 7, Volume 8. Now, this is the second side of this tape that we did last week, and if you notice, the surroundings are different. I don't know if you have noticed or not, but normally it's a white background. It seems my next door neighbour is building the 8th wonder of the world in his actual garden, so I can't actually record where I normally record because the sound is so high, so I'm actually retreated to the centre of the house into my office so that I can actually do this. So, without further ado, we're going to give it a go. Now, this is from my friend Eduardo, and this is probably going to contain some more Spanish goodies because that's where it came from. So hopefully we'll have something good, and hopefully some will load. I mean, we did actually have the excellent Target Renegade finally when I finally loaded it from another tape. We actually got some Target Renegade last week, so let's hope for some more great goodies like that. Anyway, I'll see you in a sec. Right, the tape is in the drive, so we're ready to go. So let's go with our usual, our favourite. Let's go to basic, and let's do load a dit or load speech marks, and we'll see what's on here. Now, I have the tape recorder handy. I have my phone with PlayZX handy. I've got all of my adapters and things. So fingers crossed, it works fine. And I gave the tape drive a quick clean as well, so I'd like to thank Daryl for that. Daryl sent me a number of things over time, and one of which was a tape cleaner, which I've used quite regularly actually, so it got a little bit of a clean beforehand. Oh, Vigilante! Ooh, would this be 128k? I can't remember. Now, Vigilante is a conversion of an arcade game. Quite often weren't they on the Spectrum? To be honest with you, and quite often that was the big sellers, weren't they? Really, there were some unique games that were specifically for the Spectrum, but the lot of it was you wanted that arcade experience at home, or the best that you could get, if that makes sense. The closest you'd get to it. Didn't always necessarily follow, but Vigilante for me, I don't know if it is the successor or not. I don't know if it's even the same brand to Kung Fu Master. And I really like Kung Fu Master. It's such a weird thing. It's 5 levels of walking along, sort of kicking people as you go with Kung Fu Master. So 5 floors it is, just kicking people and snakes and pots and sort of henchmen and all this kind of stuff. And Vigilante's like the next part. Now, Vigilante is, I think his girlfriend, it depends on the version. I'm sure his girlfriend's called Madonna, but she's also called something else in some other games. She seems to change, her name seems to have changed, but the story's the same. Usual sort of thing. Big bad dude kidnaps your girlfriend or somebody important that's female, which is usually the way, because it's still games are heavily emphasising sort of the male, the male sort of protagonist, isn't it? It's still very much the case in a lot of games, and a lot of games companies actually. It's really kind of weird that actually. You'd think by nowadays, considering that the growth in girl gamers as such is such a big thing. But anyway, back to this. So this is an arcade game. You walk along level, you punch and kick people in the face. You sometimes find a nice pair of nunchucks or something similar to wallop them with, and that's basically it. But it's good. I have a real soft spot for Vigilante. I've got it on the Sega Master System, which is one of the best arcade conversions in my mind. It's one of the it just looks nice. It's very fluid. It's probably only second to the PC Engine version, which is absolutely phenomenal. It's a piece of art. It's literally is the arcade version at home, and then of course the arcade itself, which is really, really good. Did this feature on many, just thinking about when sort of moving into the future, sort of the PlayStation 1 and the Saturn era and that kind of thing, did it ever appear as an arcade compilation thing? I don't think it did. I think it kind of... there's a problem with certain things. Certain games have lasted the course we've done. I mean, the one that really comes to mind, I don't know if I discussed this last video, but was Bubble Bobble, which is still going now. And in fact, there's another version out now of Bubble Bobble, obviously with some different things. They've stayed the course. Another one that's sort of... oh, right, so reset your counter to 0, right. This is going to be interesting. Rewind to 0 on the counter. Okay. Press play. Oh. Right, play the tape. Loading level 1. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We'll see if this works. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, completely lost my train of thought while everyone was doing that. Play games, enduring games. Yes, enduring games. Back to where I was. Blah blah blah. Enduring games. So enduring games are sort of, Bubble Bobble is a very enduring game. It's a game that has lasted sort of the course. It stayed the course, if that makes sense. It stayed there. We've seen it lots of times. It has turned up and it's done what it it's just lasted since the 80s right through into 2020. I mean, they can't say that much about many games. I mean, I'm sure you can think of a few more in the comments below. I mean, Puzzle Bobble is also another one that's lasted from the arcade generation, because I don't think it was on the 8-bit generation. I think it slid from the arcade upwards and it kind of stayed from there. And then you've got other games that are sort of being born now that are going to sort of be enduring, in the sense of like Mr. Driller Man. I don't believe it ever appeared as an 8-bit version. However, to be fair, it has all the calibre of being an 8-bit one, which is basically drill down the levels and multicoloured things. It's been reborn again. It's a downloadable game at this point for the Switch and PlayStation and all this kind of stuff. But it's an enduring in that sense. It's been a game that's endured that sort of the rest of the time. Whereas things like a Vigilante kind of, they got to the PC Engine generation, they got to the Master System and the sort of Spectrum and whatever else, and the Commodore Amiga, I think it went to, and the Atari ST, and then that's it, really. It's not been revamped, re-looked at, or whatever else. Same with Kung Fu Master, didn't get very far in that sense. I don't think it even exists on the 16-bit generation. It kind of died permanently. And it's weird to think about certain things that that I think of as sort of classics, that didn't actually survive the kind of that run, if that makes sense. Right. Don't hear any music. I'm gonna say 2 for keyboard. And I'm going to do... Oh, this is going to be interesting because I don't know what the keys are. Play. I'm going to make a guess at this. The police cannot stop the gangs. So there we go. Skinheads have taken Madonna. Yeah, there you go. Hostage. Take the power into your own hands. Right, okay. Let's see whether or not I can take the power into my own hands. Okay. Ready, stage 1. Okay, it's spacebar. Oh, I thought it was spacebar. I don't know what it seemed to punch there. Did you see it punching? I was definitely punching. Oh, it's an M maybe. It's M. It's M. It's always M. Please don't make me rewind the tape because we're on the first level. Please don't make me rewind the tape. No, we're not going to have to. Thank goodness for that. So it's M for the attack button. Right. Okay. 1 to play. So at least they've kept the arcade bit in, which is basically the skinheads have taken the thing, the gangs have taken the hostage, and you have to use your, take it into your power into your own hands to destroy the gangs. So at least they did that. Right. Okay. I'm going to press M. Oh, this is the thing that happens on them. They kind of... Oh, I kind of have to push a direction, I think. Ugh. There's the nunchucks on the floor if we can get to it. Oh, come on. Beat him. Nunchucks. That's better. Gosh, they've got a lot of power. In the arcade, they have a little bit of power that takes to knock them back. But they seem to, the Spectrum version, they seem to have a lot of power. Incredible amount of power. If you can keep them back, you might be alright. Oh, he's got me. Oh, game over. Gosh, shot me, I think. Repeatedly. Not one I think I may own a copy, I'm not sure. Can't remember. If not, it'll be a re-release if I do own a copy. Yeah, it's a bit tough, that one, actually. Not as good as I was hoping for. I think if I'd got it back in the day, after playing the arcade version, I might have been quite impressed, but I don't think it holds up, if that makes sense now. Nostalgia-wise, you'd still have a copy. You'd have one on the shelf, definitely. But as I say, it doesn't hold up against certainly against the other 8-bit versions around at the time. Certainly on the console, but they can always beat Spectrum. They could got sprites work and all the other bits and pieces. So I hope you've got a beverage, because I have. I've got a coffee. I'll just have a quick sup of the coffee. Oh. It's like 300 degrees outside and I'm still drinking coffee. It's like the Blues Brothers, isn't it? It's dark, it's the middle of the night, and we're both having sunglasses. You know, let's go! Yeah. Do you remember that? Do you remember the Blues Brothers? No? Good movie. Like that one. It's on Netflix at the moment, I believe. This will be the levels. Yeah, that's levels, right. So we need to fast forward a little bit and see how many levels there are. I can't remember how many stages there are enough. I have a feeling there was 5. But we'll see. We'll let that run a little bit there. So how are you this fine day? You all good? I hope so. I'm kind of I was saying in another video, one of my Euro Truck ones, that I have a divided audience. Actually, it's quite funny. I have an audience who watches my sort of 8-bit computers and retro stuff, sort of with my Master System and you know, that kind of generational stuff, the sort of 80s and 90s. And then I have I seem to have another audience who really enjoys my truck driving. In fact, I can tell they enjoy my truck driving and my weird and wonderful sort of journeys, because there's a lot of views, or not a lot of views, a lot of long time watching, if that makes sense. So I've got an audience. I've got 2 audiences, and then I've got a third audience who watches both. So it's really nice, actually, to be honest with you. It's funny because I have no, you know, I have no. I'm passionate about gaming. That's, I think, what it is. I'm not necessarily, and I'm passionate about. I love the old technology. I love the old gaming because it was gaming on that old technology. So I'm very passionate about gaming from the generational stuff that I've got right through to the current stuff. I mean, it was funny if you watch some of my earlier videos. You see, you'd learn, you develop over time. But if you watch some of my earlier videos, I'm kind of a bit down on, for instance, the PlayStation 1. I'm a bit down on it, on the fact that it's early generational graphics. Really come to love that recently. That early sort of 3D graphics, when run through a TV with not through the composite output, but through a decent, component RGB output, which you can get really good cables now. If you run it through that onto a modern telly or whatever else it is, and the edges are all, and the pixels are all sharp and hard, and the edges are all rough and ragged, but at the same time really, really sharp. What a difference! And do you know what? It kind of brings it almost up to date, and you go, yeah, I can get over it as long as the gameplay is good. And I've always said the gameplay is the main sort of thing. I always believe that gameplay is the sort of there's the magic pill for gaming, if that makes sense. It's the one that needs to be best. Nope, still got levels. There's a lot of levels for this game, isn't there? Fast forward a bit more. Yeah, so I was a bit sort of down on them early on. I wasn't very keen on them, didn't really enjoy them. Started playing them again, and then rediscovered them. I think you have to be around when it was around. I mean, certainly, I've come to really adore the Sega Saturn. However, collecting for it can be a tad expensive. It's one of the few systems. I don't collect for a lot of systems. I only really collect for the ZX Spectrum, and even then, I don't do things like Hit Squad. Dare I say the word Hit Squad? But considering that the retro market is going absolutely nuts for these things at the moment. However, I've got my own theories on why the market for these things has gone mad. Because I was looking for a copy of Chaos, and I was happy to have. I actually want the Silverbird version of it, which came in its own sort of pack. It was blue and it had these monsters and things like that, and I really wanted the Chaos thing from Julian Gallop. I managed to grab recently. Thanks again from Daryl for one of them. I managed to get the Lords of Chaos, which is the next one from sort of next Chaos from Julian Gallop's team, I managed to get Laser Squad, another version of it. I have got the Spanish version, which came sealed, and I can't bring myself to open it. So I managed to find the boxed version from the UK. Brilliant. I mean, the expansions for those are going to be almost impossible to find, but they are out there. But I got Laser Squad. I picked up Rebel Star 2, and I need Rebel Star 1. I'm still looking for that one. So I'm looking for Rebel Star, well, the first one. And I'm also looking for Chaos from when it was released on, well, it wasn't originally released on Silverbird, it was released later on Silverbird, but I'm looking for that. But as I say, I'm not a mad collector. I want games that I like. I want ones that you all hate, because everybody has, terrible memories of it being awful or whatever else, because I like playing them. I think that they should be played, even though they were awful at the time. But Hit Squad at the moment, my theory on the reason why it's gone a little nuts is that we've all been kind of cooped up in our houses, and we're getting quite used to it now. So we're, feeling that nostalgia bug. We're picking up a ZX Spectrum, so thus pushing up the price of the ZX Spectrum, and then we're trying to find the games that we want. And then if you have the bug for it, you're into it. And then their bids are coming in early on things like eBay with what's what. I'm going to stop this here and I'm going to rewind. Because my theory here is that it's a 128k version, so let's go with a little reset the machine, because this will be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I think. So we'll go with the proper load, and we'll see whether we can get to load with the 120k. So I think that's pushing up the prices, because people have got a little bit of nostalgia bug, but I don't think they're going to be in there at the huge sums of money, because as I say, Chaos for me recently I put in, it's normally a £50 game as far as I can see. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the ones I've seen sold on sort of various Facebook groups, we're looking at 50 quid. 50 to 60 pounds is probably the ceiling for it. Anyway, I put in a bid of 35 quid to start off with, to see if I could rule anybody out. I was instantaneously somebody instantaneously bid more. So I put in another bid, and I went, right, well, let's just, to hell with it, let's weed everybody out. So I stuck in 55 quid, which was immediately beaten. And I thought, do you know what? And this was 6 days before the auction was going to end, and I thought, do you know what? It's going to be one of these. It's not. Lucasfilms. Lucasfilm Games. Do you remember LucasArts? Brilliant studio, that one. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that, with all the flashing as well. It's kind of cool. Anyway, so I thought, do you know what? We'll see where it went to. And anyway, it went up to £122, plus about £3 for delivery. I can't say I'm surprised. It was the original packaging, the sort of Games Workshop version of it, the Chaos, was it Destruction on the Lands of Limbo or something like that? And Death on the Lands of Limbo? Anyway, so sort of like there's a tagline which didn't appear on the Silverbird version. But I just think that there's a little bit of nostalgia going on. Certainly, I mean, the reason the Wii's rocketed in price, and the Wii U hasn't, I don't think, but the Wii certainly rocketed in price because it was a good, easy console and it's cheap to get the games for. The Switch went through the roof. You could actually sell during the lockdown your Switch for more than you bought it for. So, if you wanted to get rid of it, you could get rid of it for more from sellers, because literally the market for them was so rich. And that was Nintendo, though, dragging their heels with production. I don't think that the lockdown affected production that badly in certain places. I just think that was just Nintendo being a bit, well, Nintendo, because they've done that before with supplies of things. So those kind of things went a bit silly. Wii went a bit silly. There's also certain other things have gone a bit silly. But there's boom times as well in retro. The Xbox 360 and PS3 at the moment, games are dirt cheap. I'm not entirely sure why, but there seems to be a real sort of lull on those. However, I think this is where I think this online service wise. I think that the 360, because the 360 is different. I don't know what the PlayStation 3 is like, because I didn't own one. So it was a PlayStation I missed. I've done 1, 2, 4. I missed 3 out because I preferred the 360, to be honest with you. And I tried them both over the course of a year before buying any one of them. And actually, because PlayStation Xbox came out first, and then PlayStation 3 came later. But I tried the Xbox and was kind of enamoured by that and kind of stuck with it. But those things, the Xbox certainly can update from the discs, so you can at least still maintain and run the discs. There's a gigabyte of space that's stored or spare on every 360 disc that allows it to update the operating system on your your 360. So there is some updating going on there. I'm going to assume the PlayStation 3 is exactly the same, that it has some space for that kind of thing. But as I say, they're on a boom at the moment. They're kind of really low. So if you really want something, you can get it. But I think it's down to online service. I think people are like wanting to play online with their friends. And it's Last Crusade, by the way. I thought it was Temple of Doom, and I don't know the Last Crusade. But anyway, I just think that's what it is. It's just that it's too new to play multiplayer with, if that makes sense. So I think that's the reason why there's a good split between the PlayStation 2, which has less online games. Yes, there are ones exist, and the Xbox's ones exist, than the 360 and the PlayStation 3, where they've got online games and online services. I think that's the split. That's going to be the split. I think that's going to define how things cost in the future. I think that they kind of, now if you're Microsoft and Sony, you're going to have to stick with as much back compatibility as possible. Has that stopped? Could still be loading. Going to stop the tape, maybe? Yeah, I'm going to stop the tape. Task finished. Alright, okay. I just pressed enter to see what was going on. But yeah, I think that's what it is. I think you're going to have to stick with the most back compatible. Then there's no need for anybody to ever collect PlayStation 4 onwards, Xbox One onwards. I think that's it. Because to be fair, I think Microsoft have already committed to that with back compat with their things. So you know, it's gonna be an interesting one, the next generation. I think it's going to be throwaway generations now. I think they're going to throw them away. They all want us to do online services. They all want us to do game passes and all this kind of stuff. I'm resisting as a collector, but we're becoming few and far between. I mean, even my PC gaming, I don't collect the discs anymore. I collect, I have Steam accounts and GOG accounts, and I seem to think that's okay. But it's almost like a double standard from me there. You know, that's okay on there because they're dirt cheap. But on console it isn't, because you want to collect for the console. But I think the consoles are so similar now, you can't really I don't know. It's a tough one. I'm struggling with it a little bit. Right, okay, so let's do move right, left, down, up, fire, H to pause the game, and G to quit. I don't know. It's a funny stage we're at now. I think we are. Collector's editions of things are decorative rather than gaming. Don't know. Oh, okay. Let's hope that they've put the other side on here. Let's hope side 2 is on this tape. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Oh, there we go. Side 2's on there. This is going to be interesting. We've had quite a lot of loading times on these ones. Don't know. But so that's my feelings on the retro thing at the moment. There's a little bit of nostalgia going on. We've been locked down. People want to play games. So there's been a real rise in that. Where with the sort of Spectrum stuff and whatever else is, I'm going to assume at this point, because I've watched the market of Spectrum games, and they have been creeping up slowly. For the most part, they've stayed where they're at. But do I push the pause? Yes, I do. They've stayed where they're at. But I have a feeling that you know, if you, for instance, if you needed Chaos the last one, how much would you pay for it? That's the thing. If you wanted Chaos desperately and you wanted it for your collection, what would you pay for it? I mean, the most I've ever paid for a Spectrum game was £80, and I'd have probably paid £100. Probably paid £150 for this game because I hadn't seen it before. I don't think I'd go any further higher, but it's what it's worth to you. I probably would have gone that high. But this is the thing. Chaos going to 122. I think it went that high because somebody desperately wanted for the collection. I was at 55. It wasn't the version I wanted. However, if it had been the version I wanted, I might have done £80 or £90 on it. So it's an interesting one. And on the hit squad front, I think that's. Oh, it's still loading. Oh, I thought it was finished. I was pushing keys. It's not. I'm glad I didn't push the brake key. The cross of Corondo? This is the beginning of it when it was like on Young Indie and the thing, possibly. because it was young Indiana Jones, wasn't it? Played by a phoenix. Was it River Phoenix? Who didn't he tragically take his own life? I think that was right, wasn't it? Anyway, I think it was an indie because it shows how he gets a little scar on his chin, which kind of explains Harrison Ford's scar on his chin because he uses the whip for the first time and does it and keeps the hat from the guy who manages to beat him to the treasure, and then he does the treasure. Anyway, so yeah, but if you're on Hit Squad point of view, those collecting Hit Squad must be pretty much through their collections, and they must be just looking for those last ones. So I think they're in a situation now where if you're in the last 5, say, and one comes up, you're gonna have to dig deep, I'm afraid. And I know it sounds crazy, but you're gonna have to dig deep. I think those who have already completed are in a situation where they're kind of they got it at the right time to complete. But I think that now you're going to have to dig deep if you want to complete collections. I have one complete collection. I think I've discussed this again before, which is the Firebird White Label. So that's my one complete collection. I do keep meaning to do a video on it at some point about that one complete collection at some point. But we'll do it someday. Oh, this looks nice, doesn't it? That's me punching. Can I use my whip? Right. So we jump off there. And jump onto that, climb down. Nice animation. Reminds me of, I'm sure The Last Crusade is, in fact I know it's on the Master System. I've got it. To be fair, it's graphically, for the graphics, not the colours, don't forget the colours, graphically, very similar. Very similar indeed. Missing a few animation frames, obviously, because the cartridge can do a lot more than the thing. Oh, grab my whip. I've made the noise. Oh, he's got me. 2 hits and I'm down. Right. Let's go. Oh no! Don't die. Oh god. Energy went down quick. Oh, I'm falling again. Not very good. That's quite nice. Do you know something? I've got this. I got this in a bundle that I bought a while ago. I don't buy bundles as often as I used to unless there's something really interesting in it. So I don't buy bundles. But I got it in a bundle, and I was quite pleased with it. Right, he's gonna. Oh, hit him. I just didn't get the whip out fast enough. We'll see if we can do it. At least we've got lots of lives. Just falls off that. Not a good start, is it? I do like the Temple of Doom though. I'm more of a fan of the Temple of Doom than I was of the other one. He throws a knife. Look, we should be all right though. Not sure you get an energy bar in the Master System version. I'd like to just get past this bloke though. Last Crusade was quite funny really because there was only it was Harrison Ford, wasn't it? And there we go, we got him. Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, and there was only a handful of years between them when they did that movie. Bizarrely. So the two of them were like literally, the same age. Yeah, Harrison Ford's meant to be his. Oh God, he can just walk into you and he can get you straight away once he walks into you. He's got magic sort of Dr. Martens on that knock you out. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, but they were very similar ages. That was the thing about it. I didn't mind the Last Crusade. I quite liked it actually, to be honest with you. So the quest, wasn't it, for the bump for the Holy Grail. And you had to find a carpenter's cup at the end of it. So there's all these like golden cups, which were obviously clearly not the Grail. And then the golden cup itself was the thing that. Oh no, don't. Do you know, I was talking to myself there. I knew that it was going to happen. I was just making a massive mistake there when I was doing that. But yeah, you had to find the Carpenter's Cup at the end of it. Sorry, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the Last Crusade. I'm just assuming you all have. Fate of Atlantis was good though. That was the PC game by Lucasfilms. It was the LucasArts. It was a point-and-click adventure. Very good, that one. Really enjoyed that one, Fate of Atlantis. Was there any more? I know there was the Flight of the Amazon Queen, which wasn't Indiana Jones, but it was on the similar sort of vein. That's free, I think, on GOG if you're a GOG user, so GOG.com. It's free on there. Damn you! Go away from me! Get off! Can I jump? Oh, shoot! Now he's touched me, and I'm dead. Game over. A bit tough that, really. Yeah, the timing, because of the sort of slow animation, it's actually, you could do with a few frames less. It's actually a little bit difficult to do that. I've got my name in. Can I type my name? Or do I have to use cursors? Oh, that was it. Just tells me I've got a high score. Okay, and there's no music though, so we can't be running the. Not that I can hear anyway. Oh, there is music. I apologise, by the way, for the output today, because it's a little bit. Is that better? I think I need a better cable. It's starting to annoy me, that. There is music there, but it's really quiet. You have to turn it up full blast to be able to hear it. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see what else is on this tape. So we're going to fast forward through a whole load of levels now for Indiana Jones. So we'll press the loader again, and we'll see if we can do that. And let's do a bit of fast forward in here. Let's do a little bit fast forward. We might actually find that there's not very much more on this tape, actually, in the sense of that. Let's just see if that was. That could be a level. We'll see what it says after the end of this. We'll see what. Well, yeah, as I say, we'll see what happens. Quick sup of coffee. I changed microphones recently, and I've changed back again. I got another microphone. I got a more expensive one. I'd been watching a few other YouTubers. I've seen the microphone sort of alongside of it, I changed to another microphone to try it. Didn't really like it. Didn't have the same boom as I have at the moment. I have one of these ones which is sort of like a radio one, where you can kind of grab the side of it, if that makes sense, and alter it around and move it around, and it's like it sits right in your face. So I kind of prefer that one, and I got this other one, and it was nice enough. It was heavy. You could tell it was quality, but the problem was the output wasn't good, whereas the output from this is much better. And there's another bit of recording there. Let's go for it. I did enjoy the whole Indiana Jones thing. That was really good, wasn't it? Mind you saying that, I've just remembered the last movie. The Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf in it. Shia LaBeouf. The beef. However, to be fair, you've got to give him kudos for a couple of few things. One of which is he is the meme for Do It on the internet. If you've ever seen the meme for Do It, it's Shia LaBeouf sort of flexing his muscles and going, "Do it!" And you know what? When he did that, he actually knew exactly what he was doing, because when questioned about it, and I remember listening to him in an interview, and he can be a bit full of it because he feels he's one of them. He's one of those actors who was really involved in the role, if that makes sense. He sort of said that that he obviously had become a meme, and that he was asked about it, and he said, "Oh no, it's specifically done with that in mind." Fair comment, you know. Knew his target audience. He's everywhere, you know. Everybody does go, "Do it," you know. So him and Ben Stiller, I think, with sideburns on, and I'm not entirely sure why Ben Stiller's got sideburns on in that. I don't know what movie it comes from, but Ben Stiller with sideburns going, "Do it, do it." Is there. Wasn't, as I say, wasn't massive. No, I don't mind Shia LaBeouf. He's fine. Oh, God, I'm getting a bit excited now. I'm ejecting the tape and everything. How far are we through this? This could be a quicker what's on the tape for a change. Could be. Because we've had two long ones there with the extra loads and the levels and whatever else it is. I wonder if the whole 128k versions though went straight into memory. I don't think they did. I think you probably find that they were Soldier. Ooh, wonder what this is. Probably could be anything, this, with the name like Soldier. Toy Soldiers? Was there a Toy Soldiers game? I think there was certainly was on some other consoles and things like that. Don't know. Sup of coffee, I think. Time for a quick drink while we wait for the screen to load. I'm excited, you know. I'm sitting here pensively waiting. Oh. As I said, though, I'm kind of half on call this weekend as well. So I've got the phone on low, but I'm keeping an eye. Soldier of Light by Taito. Ooh, Taito. So this is the people who created, obviously, the absolute classic that is Bubble Bobble. Don't know this game at all. I don't even recognise the name, the title, whatever else. I mean, they were such a great arcade game developer. Do they still exist? I think somebody's taken them, bought them out, didn't they? And sort of to get the rights to their IP. It's a bit like, it's funny. You know, I think I talked a while ago about I got the Switch version of Samurai Shogun, which is an SNK game. It was the first time I bought a full price game in ages, and first thing I was disappointed to find out there was the extra characters straight away, DLC. First thing that showed up on the screen was that's crashed, hasn't it? First thing that showed up on the screen was, we're going to give it one load like this, and then we're going to pop it on the PlayZX. First thing that popped up on the screen was literally the first option was shop. You know, come and buy stuff. You know, buy outfits, buy this, that, and the other. And I have to admit to being very, very unhappy about that scenario. And put me off buying a full price game again. You know, or certainly buying one that wasn't what I would call complete, or not a first party that's a full game. So. Oh. Little screen had a little fit there. Here we go. Oh no, that's the screen for that. Here we go. This should be it. Right. So we're doing it 48K mode. So hopefully this will work better. But yeah, so it put me right off. However, interestingly enough, there's one by the people who have converted the arcade ROM sets to the Switch, which again is 45 quid, but it's complete because it's all the ROM sets from, I think, 1 to whatever they're up to, with complete games and complete whatever else is. Why the hell would you buy the more expensive one when you can have the classic arcade versions from SNK converted properly on the Switch? Again, another enduring brand. They've been around, they're still there. SNK Playmore is still here. They can technically still pump up games, but you then have that scenario. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's a bit like Tecmo and Dead or Alive. I'm not a fan of what they've done Dead or Alive. However, the original Dead or Alive are brilliant games. Apart from 3's cover, what were they thinking with 3's cover? If you've seen 3's cover, previous versions were sold. They were sold on their sort of sex appeal, I think is the best way of describing it without being, too lurid. Sort of ninja girls bouncing around the front covers, all right? Or in the case of volleyball, sort of extreme sports, bouncing around the covers. And then the third one comes along, and it's like a bright red sort of like, I don't know, some kind of, if the lights all went red all of a sudden, alert system type thing with a picture of one of the, I can't remember the name of the character actually on the front of it, sort of bursting through, sort of, I think punching, isn't he? And it doesn't look right at all. It doesn't match the series, if that makes sense. It isn't Dead or Alive. In modern day terms, the Dead or Alive, you can put the male and the female characters in the front and whatever else it is and mix it up that way, so we get none of that let's be politically correct kind of thing. But at the same time, the third one, I don't know. It's just really weird. I can't say that I'm terribly impressed by the third one for that particular reason. The cover, anyway, the game itself is fine. It's absolutely brilliant, actually. You know, fighting in snow and stuff like that, and having to move around is really good. It's a really, really good game. In fact, I had a real love of 2D, sort of 3D fighters has come back recently, and fighters in general. I'm rubbish, but I've had a real love of them recently. I've recollected a lot of things from Namco, and I've collected things from obviously Tecmo, and I've collected things from Tecmo Namco. Sounds like a song. Namco. We've got Sega itself with the Virtua Fighter series. What else have I collected recently? And Capcom, of course. Capcom with its sort of Street Fighter series, the Alpha series, and the Street Fighter with the EX, sort of series and things like that. I do need the 3D ones though. Are they EX Alpha Plus or something similar? Somebody knows, they'll put it in the comments. I definitely had one of those. I remember being quite put off with it though when I first saw it. There was one that was on the PlayStation 1, and I think it was the very first 3D version of it, but it was on a 2D plane, and I was quite confused. It didn't make sense to me. However, now it's the kind of commonplace. 5 and I don't think there's a 6, is there? 4 and 5 are definitely 3D characters on a 2D plane, and everybody kind of accepts that as the norm, and that's okay. Same with the Mortal Kombat, it's the same sort of thing. But they were always meant to be sort of 3-dimensional characters because they were sort of digitized, weren't they, in the first place? But I don't know. That first time I saw one like that, where it changed from being the beautiful 2D pixel rendered sprites to that 3D sort of, and at the time, of course, PlayStation 1 and Saturn and things like that, they were quite chunky, really. The texturing wasn't quite there, but I mean, I can get past it because of the fact that the gameplay was all right, but it's just a bit of a weird one. Right, I have no idea what this is, so let's define the keys. 1986. Soldier of Light. That's exciting, actually. So, left, right, up, down, fire, H to pause. Right, okay. 1 for keyboard. Good luck. Your responsibility is to defense of something or other. I didn't see what that was. Oh! Don't duck, though, because you can't move and duck. I'm powering up with this. I'm getting damaged. Oh God, that was a huge thing that came at me there. Sorry about the noise. I'm trying to move the speaker thing. I'm trying to move this now. I've not seen this game before. I've powered up my gun. Oh wow. Right, I'm keep running into things right now. I'm on the thing now. I'm ready to go. Oh look, it has powered it up proper like. Look at that. Oh, I've got to jump that thing, I think. I've not seen this one. I'm guessing it was an arcade game of the same name. Demon. Dem bones. Right, okay, that's kind of cool. I like the rotating graphical thing at the top. As I say, not a game I've played before. That stupid thing's making loads of noise again. Don't do that. Sorry about the output. Sometimes I think it's the port in the Spectrum where the RGB goes into. I think because I'm moving it around in the port, which is what I'm doing, sort of wiggling the cable can sort of take away the buzz. Funny thing is, I always think of Spectrums of having that buzz because the 48K one had this kind of. Do you remember it? Sort of like a high pitched whine. I'll jump over that. Yes, I've made it past. Let's see if I can get up here before these guys get me. Yay, I've done it. Oh, what happened there? I didn't see anybody shooting me. Unless it was the guy behind me. Jump. Right, okay, so we go up here. Do I have to go up on here? There. Oh. There we are, we're going up. Oh, it's just like a platformer shooter. That's kind of cool. Let's get up here. Oh, I can't get up there. Got to get up. I can't go back the way. I've got to keep going forward. That's annoying. It was making me go forward there instead of going back the way. Oh, interesting. Let's put my name in again. That's not what I expected at all. I was thinking I was thinking shooter, but I wasn't thinking this kind of shooter, if that makes sense. I wasn't thinking platform shooter. The Americans defense of the planets against the invasion. Invasion. Alright, it's an invasion. This is their invasion force, so I'm trying to destroy this team of nasty aliens. Jump over this thing. Right, we jump up there. Right, and then we go up here. Right, we need to go. We're just going forward, so we can't go back the way. So we must be able to get up on here like that. Okay, and then this way. Must be able to fall down here. Yep. Okay, get up here. We've got a little bit of energy left. Let's see whether we can. Don't die. Oh, we're there. We've got further along. Brilliant. Oh, and we've spawned in a different place. Excellent. So we've got a little bit further along. Got to jump that creature there. Oh, I wonder if he was the guardian of the door. Do you see that fella there? When I jumped over that thing there was like a guy. This fella. He's the guardian of the door. And tell you what, one hit and he's killed you. Wow. Soldier of Light. I've never played that before. Mason. Not the easiest of games to play, but it's alright actually. That's not bad. I quite like that. Wow. Okay. On we go. Not much in the way of sound effects, but yeah. One of those things. You see, sometimes these get added to my list of things that I must go and find, so I go and have a little look for it. But I must have a little look for Soldier of Light now. For my sort of, because I've been doing a bit of Taito collecting. Taito. God's sake, I can't even get it right when I know what it is. Taito collection. I've been Taitoing a bit. Taitoing? That's not anything on it. I wonder if that's the next part of the game if you finish the level. I wonder. Let's fast forward a bit anyway. Let's find out what else is on here. We're doing all right actually with sort of tape size. We got. No, definitely a level. I wonder if Soldier of Light had some levels. There's another level probably. Because there wasn't anything before. We didn't fast forward past it all or anything like that. Good cleaner. The tape hasn't done it any harm, has it? Most definitely not. The whole thing as well went the whole hog. Daryl supplied a I doubt you can even get hold of them now. No, I don't. That's not true. You can get hold of some tape cleaners. They're on Amazon, but they're not quite the same quality, I think, as they were back in the day. And he's given me one with the proper sort of, put some chemicals in, and the chemicals sort of wash it down and wipe the surface on it. It's kind of cool. I'm wondering if this is it now as well. Whether this is the whole side of the tape. It's gone quiet. Brace yourself. Probably under an hour's long video. I'm going to fast forward. I think we might actually have done an under an hour long video. Let's have a little look. Might actually happen. There's a fair chunk of tape left, though, to be fair. I say fair chunk. There is a good 2 48k games or 1 big 128k game or something. I think that's the kind of the best definition of it. Or 4 16k games. Ooh, there we go. Well, maybe 3 and a bit. I don't know. Yeah, 3 and a bit. Oh my goodness! Not even any ghosts of the past, just purely empty space. One more good fast forward. I'm not taking it to an hour, I promise you. That's not the way I'm doing it. I'm just seeing if there's a... Nope, we are. And that's almost at the end of the tape. I can hear it, and there's no space left on there for anything. You can hear it going. One more zip. I say one more. I kept saying one more 2 minutes ago, didn't I? Zip, 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 zip. And that's it. That was the end of the tape. Wow, that was actually quite a short one for a change. So yeah, that one's over. We've got some more tapes. I've got some from Ben Steele. I have some more from Douglas Titchmarsh. And I have some more from Oddwado. We've got so many tapes that are coming out my ears at the moment, which is brilliant. So there's lots of history to go through. So we'll pick one probably from Ben next week, because he got this large collection from somebody when he was a marketplace find, I think, from a Facebook marketplace find. So we'll tackle one of his from next week. Anyway, I've been your host, Real Genetic Demon. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye now.